Hey everyone, today we're talking about the resurrection body. Someone will ask, well, how are the dead raised? What kind of body do they come with? Don't be silly. What you plant does not come to life unless it dies. And as for what you don't plant the body that is to be, but a bare seed, perhaps of wheat or some other grain. But God gives it a body as He's chosen, and to each kind of seed its own body. So it is with the resurrection of the dead. What's planted is perishable, what is raised is imperishable. It's planted in dishonor, it's raised in glory. It's planted in weakness, it's raised in power. When it's planted, it embodies the soul. When it's raised, it embodies the spirit. If there is a soulish body, there's also a spiritual body. Thus it is written, the first man, Adam, became a living soul. The last Adam became a life-giving spirit. But it's not the spiritual that is first, but the soulish and then the spiritual. Okay, so in this conversation about resurrection, we're moving from if to how and what kind, because it seems like the Corinthians, and maybe sometimes we, get hung up on the nature of the resurrection body that we'll have someday. And so first, Paul uses this analogy of a seed, right? You don't plant an apple or a watermelon, you don't plant an oak tree, you plant the seed. And does that seed just grow to be a bigger form of the same thing? No, it grows into something else. And so it's like he's saying, you think that you're a human being now, I've got good news, just wait. And it's kind of similar to what Jesus himself said in John 12 about how unless a grain of wheat dies, it remains what it is. It has to experience that death to become something new. Same for us. And so this idea of a seed, it emphasizes both the continuity and the difference, right? You're still you, except not exactly, not in the same way. You're something more, not something else. And, as he's talking about the ways that how we are now, it will be different from then. He talks about our bodies are perishable and dishonorable and weak. I think I don't need to give evidence of that, right? We all feel that. But then he starts talking about these two kinds of bodies, and I kind of did my own translating here because I think a lot of them miss it, what he's getting at. Because on the one hand, you have the body, I said it's like a soul-ish body, a body that's defined by the soul, and then the spiritual body. And I think it's important to use I have to kind of make up my own words there because there's some bad translations imply the wrong kind of distinction. Because some will say a physical body and a spiritual body, or a natural body. Physical is wrong. That is not at all what he's talking about. Natural is better, but not great. Because I think those translations seem to imply a material body and a non-material body, which is exactly what Paul is arguing against. A body means it is, in some sense, physical. And so what he's really talking about is not what it's made of, it's what animates the body. All right. As someone said, the spiritual body is not a body composed of spirit, but a body directed by the Spirit. We see clearly in this letter that the spiritual can be present in physical reality. Spiritual and material are not opposites, not in Christian thought. That's what the resurrection proves. So, what's animating you now? We both have our own humanness, our soul, the way that we are, and we also are filled with the Holy Spirit. And I think we feel that tension of being pulled in both ways. And so resurrection is about being able to look forward to when we are fully ourselves and we are also fully who God made us to be. We'll be more, not less. That's resurrection.